I've not done a story time in a while. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really be having much to talk about because my life isn't that good. But not that this is a good story either way. I remembered this randomly while I was sitting at the doctor's office, and my physician started talking to me about my mental health. And she was giving me all these tips and, just minor bits of advice because she has a son that's my age. And, just telling me to keep my head up and, use these practices to make myself better. And because she could tell that, like I obviously just wasn't in the best headspace during this physical. And randomly off the cusp, that just brought this memory back to my head of some not good stuff that happened to me. Stuff that isn't good to the point where I honestly don't know what to title this. Um, you'll see what it is once I figure out how to captivate the viewer. But you're in for a ride. This is probably like 3-4 years ago. I was dating this girl that I was working with at the time. I was head over heels for this girl. We were in like a semi-open relationship, which I never really did anything with. I never really understood the point of not being in a monogamous relationship. So even with, all the opportunity and the basically green light to, go do whatever I wanted, I never really did. I didn't have the desire to because she was the only girl that I wanted. But I used, the power of said open relationship to still hang out with, the female friends that I had prior to the relationship and there not really be an issue. So one of my homegirls who I hadn't spoken to in a while, she hit me up trying to hang out and stuff. I thought it was cool, you know what I'm saying? We could just link, catch up, do whatever. So I pick her up so we could hang out and stuff, or at least that's what I thought we were doing. But she really just wanted me to drive her to her plug's house. And I was younger, I wasn't the person that I am now, and I was ultimately just scared because I was in the nicer, whiter side of town at the time, and there are cops everywhere, and just moving around contraband and stuff. I did not want to be part of that. I let peer pressure get the best of me, and I eventually caved in. And I drove her to that place and got her like $20 worth of weed. And ultimately, everything was fine until we left and got back to my place. We're just sitting in the car, talking, catching up. I'm telling her everything that that's happened since the last time I seen her, and vice versa. The conversation was going cool, and then it wasn't once things got a little more hands-on. And by hands-on, I mean in a non-consensual way. After 2 or 3 times of yo, hey, don't put your hands there, me saying this, you know what I'm saying? This is really uncomfortable. I'm sorry. There's gonna be a lot of cuts because I haven't spoken about this much. When I was saying like, hey, stop, I don't want you doing that, it turned into, well, if you don't let me do it, then I'm gonna tell your girlfriend that you did. And at that point, I didn't know how to respond. I just like shut down completely. I just stopped speaking. I stopped resisting. I stopped moving. And in response to that, she says, hey, I'm just joking. I wouldn't do anything like that. Come on now. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like jokes are supposed to be funny. Like that wasn't. And I don't think I ever told anyone at the time, even my girlfriend, about this because I just didn't know how to go about it. And it was even harder to deal with because like a couple years prior, I had been in a similar situation that didn't go as smoothly as this one did. And I feel like if that's the case for me, just little old random ass nothing ass me, then there's probably a lot of other men who have experienced the same thing and didn't know how to go about it just like I did. And I'd say now that I'm in like such a not so good position in my life, and my mental health has really been teetering and on the cusp of bad things. It's like made me realize that like a man's vulnerability just ultimately does not get taken seriously by the masses. It's stuff like that like makes me like so surprised when people are like, oh my god, why is Andrew Tate so famous? Like why is like the red pill community like thriving so much? It's because of dudes who just feel voiceless, and like losers and incels and like people who don't do anything like valuable for society, but like us too, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, either way, I'm making changes for myself. I'm gonna be vocal when things just aren't going the way they should be in my life. I feel like maybe that's why that random memory like just triggered in my brain, so I could, talk about it and verbalize it to the whole damn internet. Like, look at me, I'm courageous now, I guess. My story times normally have like morals at the end of it, whether they're good or like meaningless. But I guess the moral here is don't be afraid to speak up for yourself, no matter what it's about. If something makes you anxious, if something makes you insecure, something makes you just flat out uncomfortable, then you're in all your rights to just say that. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to take action for yourself to at least some extent, especially as a man, because a lot of the times you are all that you got. I don't like being this serious on my channel. I'm probably gonna throw a random meme or clip like right here. I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne. Did I lighten the mood? I don't know. I have to get ready for work. If this helped you, if you needed to see this, like, comment, subscribe. That's about it I got for you. And I love each and every viewer who watched me re-experience my trauma. Yeah.